Welcome on, ladies and gents. Welcome to Friday morning. It's the 16th of July and we're down on the hayfield again. So I've just walked down, done the gates as usual. Just want a quick look at what's happening. I did turn this field and the big hill field, Boys Winter Field, yesterday for a second time after I stopped filming. But I kind of modified the tether again, so we'll go see that in a minute. But whilst we're down here, I'm just going to have a quick look at the grass, see how we're getting on. It was turning quite well. There are still lumps of green in both fields. That one's not as bad, but that's got a lot of timothy in it, and it's been a real pig to dry. It always seems to be bad to dry. No matter how thin the crop is, it just seems to take a while. So yeah, we'll just have a look down this. I usually go to outsides because they're usually the wettest bits. There is dew on the ground, so I'm trying not to count that. I'm trying to look at the grass instead. Turn it over. It's not too bad. It's looking quite good. It's definitely getting there, but there's still green in there. You can't see with its cover on it. It's dead leaf around it, but it's some of it's quite green. Now there are a couple of ways that I've been told how to test if hay's fit for baling. I'll try and show you now. Right, so the way that I usually do it is break it in half, remove any leafage, and then literally between my index finger and my thumb, just run your thumb up, your nail up against it, and see what comes out the end. That one's actually drier than I thought, but there's a little bit of moisture in it. So basically all you're doing is breaking all the cells and pushing all the moisture out to the end. That's the most common way I do it. Another way I tend to do is grab yourself a little handful of grass and turn it. Literally just round and round. What I always got told was if it snaps at the third time you go around, maybe fourth, it's fit to go. So that doesn't, see, 4, 5, 6, yeah, miles out. But to be fair, most of that could be from the dew, from the ground anyway. So we'll give it a couple of hours. The third way I got told, that somebody told me, was, if I can find a good piece to show you. Right, so another way I got shown was take a piece and find, some of them got like knuckles on them, and you're supposed to be able to break through the knuckle, whereas that's just bent. So they're supposed to break in the knuckles. So that's 3 ways of doing it. So yeah, back to tether then. It was last night I was working this field, and as usual you kind of get used to knocks and bangs and whistles and whatever else on your machinery. And every time I put the rotor arm down, or the rotors down, because I lift it with linkage and lift the arms up themselves to give clearage, otherwise you kind of end up knocking tines together. There's obviously quite a bit of slack in these. She's no spring chicken, so usually lift the ends of the wings up, and I could hear this bang as he went down, and looking around it you can't see anything. Carried on a bit longer, and then noticed that I was losing something. Not just my marbles, to be fair. But my frame started coming off. So I should have a frame like that on that side, which is a bar, and then like a safety rail guard around the outside of it. Well, she decided to snap, and she's held on there, and that snapped, and then it's held on there and there. Well, that bolt's missing, and it's actually pulled blooming thread out, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. So in time, just chopped off there, and I lost my safety bar. Second one was my wheel, well, my welding as well. So I'd put some weld onto that little tongue and onto that, and it snapped. So the wheel's now pointing off centre. It should be kind of down here. So the whole thing was crabbing yesterday. But that should be just a quick case, hopefully, of, I don't know, welding that back on again, or possibly trying to take this off, drill a hole through, put a pin through, and weld the pin in, pretty much like I've done with these. So these are the original pins that we used. Right, well, we're back on 10 again. I've just welded it up again. So I don't know if you can see on left hand side, left hand first rotor from the tractor, if that makes sense. I've welded the bar up again. You'll probably also notice this has also got a wobble on again. So I'm gently being rocked from side to side. But never mind. Apart from that issue, or those issues, we're getting on quite well, to be honest. It's about 10:30 now. Due lifted about 10 o'clock, so it's had half an hour or so just to dry top bits off. Yeah, carry on. So, getting there. Well, I'm getting somewhere anyway. We are turning up very many bits of green, which is good. I think I've only seen one really so far. It's just trying to dry the actual stems out now. So for whatever reason this field just never seems to want to dry very well. It's just the grass, isn't it? I think I worked out the other day I'm on about 43 acres in 7 fields. Most of them are grouped together, so there's these 2 together, and it's 1.5 miles between 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And then there's like 5 miles, 5, 6 miles. So the last 2 that I've got that are mine. Okay, I have no idea what happened there, but that did not go to plan. Brilliant. Right, I'll get back to you. Well, I just worked out what it was. That bar with a hole in the end of it should be up there where that pin is. It's just snapped off, so somebody repaired it in the past and it's given out again, so I can't find the end of it either, so this could be really good fun. Alright, so we're back in the workshop and I found the other piece. I can't remember if I welded this or if somebody else did. Anyway, it's snapped off again, so grind all this back, clean all the edges up, bang that back on there, try and straighten that out, and then hopefully the job will be a good one again. I hope. Right, so it's welded back up. It's a lot better weld than the first time around anyway. A couple of bits through centre, so hopefully it might work. There was a crossbar in it I put on, which I might put on again, but we'll see how it fits on first. Right, so we're back in the field where the MB was mowing the other day. I've left this a day to dry out. This is usually quite damp ground, so yeah, I left it a day just to dry out a bit since I've mowed it. Just doing the first turn now. So I'm just taking it steady around outside, doing 410 RPMs on the PTO, so I don't sling it all into hedge bottom. But yeah, it looks like it's dried fairly well actually. If you see behind, well, as you come past now, you'll see some bales. They're the ones that I lost 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I've still not moved the damn things. So Right, that's my outsides done. I always tend to do my outsides first, just as I do. It tends to be the wettest one, and yes, you'll go over the headlands a couple of times, but if you're driving over the headlands, you do knock it about and break it up a bit more. So not too fussed. But it does mean the ones on the sides also get dried out quicker. That's my logic anyway. Not everybody feels the same way or thinks the same way, so that's just my way. So yeah, I fixed the tenner twice today, which is joyous. But I'm not going to say anything right at the moment. I just want to get his turn and get back to the yard.